There we go. Okay, good. So, try number three. Abhishek, thank you for being with me. You know you're being recorded. We have been trying to make what is a really simple video, which is if we're going to do VTK-m development, just getting a branch and getting going with it, which is I think a pretty standard Git thing. The reason that we're making a video is it's a little harder on the back end when you're trying to push to VTK-m, or at least there's some extra process there, and we want to document that extra process. But we decided, well, if we're going to do the back end, we may as well do the front end and get just how we set up a branch in VTK-m. The reason it's taken us 3 tries is because the last time when we did a merge, something went a little wrong, which is VTK-m likes to do formatting, and it did some formatting, and I did some formatting in VI at the same time, and somehow we ended up out of sync. And so as we tried to do this simple step, which is to make a branch where I can do my development of VTK-m, we kept seeing the ghosts of a previous merge we had done a while ago. But now we think we have it totally resolved, and with this video, when we do a branch, it's going to look just right. So let's begin. Is that okay, Abhishek? Are we ready? We're in. So what we did is we started at the VTK-m GitLab, and actually I think this is the master repository, right?
Mhm.
And so I've now gone to the main part, and so we need to go to my master. So if we were to go right here, and I thought this was interesting, so I just want to show it again. If we at one point had thought about doing this, and if we were to do this to do a clone, this would be cloning the main VTK-m master, and we're not allowed to do any changes on that. And so every developer needs to do a fork to make their own master. And so we did a merge together 2 months ago, and we did a fork then. And so when I go up here and I click on fork, see this is not make a fork, it says go to my fork. And so now if I say go to fork, then this changes the branch, and now we're up in the Hank Childs fork. That's my username in the VTK-m GitLab. And if I go here and copy this and then say git, and I'm not going to press enter because we've already done it, but now you see it's taking me to a different location, which is my master, which is a location that I can do changes. And so we already did that once, and we started here at the top level directory, and we issued exactly this command, which was git clone to get my master. And then this is now CDing into this directory clone repository, and Subversion I would call a working copy. That's the phrase I want to use, but I guess I should be saying repository. And so then if we do a git branch, but by the way, I'm leading the conversation on this third try much more. For the previous 2 tries, Abhishek has told me everything, and I'm just kind of
You're getting better at this,
yeah,
man.
summarizing some of the stuff you've told me. So if I do a git branch -v, then it tells me that the only branch I have is the master branch. And then one of the things I learned in our previous conversation is this is the commit message of the last commit. And so this it comes from fixing our problems about 10 minutes ago, or we hope. So now I guess the next step would be that we have a repository, we need to make a new branch, and then we'll need to switch this repository to that branch. Do I have it right so far, Abhishek?
That's right.
Okay. And so then how do I make a new branch? I'd say git branch.
And the branch name.
And we decided that we were going to call this, because what we're going to do the second part of this video tomorrow, where we're going to merge in a single cell metric for the Jacobian cell metric. And you told me to use all lowercase, and so but there's no git branch add or git branch new, it's just git branch.
It just branch, and it creates a branch for you.
Okay, and so should I press enter?
Mm-hmm.
And now am I on that branch, or did that just create the branch?
It just created the branch, but you're still on your master.
Okay.
And if you git branch -v, it would show you 2 branches now.
Great. And so now if I was to go in and start modifying files, I'd be doing it on the master, which is a no-no. I need to do it on the Jacobian cell metric branch. And so how do I switch to the Jacobian cell metric branch?
Then you'll do a git checkout Jacobian cell metric.
Great. And indeed it says
Right.
switch branch to Jacobian cell metric. And so now
Mhm.
I'm in the typical Git situation where I can go and modify files and do my local git add, git commit, which would just be changing the branch. And so tomorrow's video will be about pushing it to the upstream master repository.
Mhm.
Okay, and so then there's one more step, which I guess now is a no-op, but let's discuss what that step is. So my fork was created, 2 months ago, and so we saw that it was 423 commits behind. And so in the last video that we threw out, um, we said, gosh, we should be getting those 423 commits and putting it on my master and on this branch. And so we had to go through some steps to get all the changes that were on the VTK-m master and put them here. And so what were those? And that's something we should do every time we make a new branch, and something as we're doing a branch, we should be pulling those changes in to make sure that we're up to date. And so Abhishek, can you remind me the commands there?
Okay, so first of all, you need to add the VTK-m's main repository as a remote repository to your Git configuration, right?
Okay.
So that's added by git remote add and some name that you could like refer to that remote repository as. So yeah, we called it upstream
Yep.
earlier, and then the URL for the repository that you want to add as a remote.
Okay. And so I'm going to go back, and I'm going to be getting the VTK-m main repository, and I'll copy that. And then as we click it, it doesn't say Hank Childs right there. It says VTK. So press enter on that.
Yep.
Okay.
And
so
then
it failed for us because we'd already done that once before. We'd already made
that's
something called upstream before.
and if you need to like list what all remotes that you have,
Yeah.
there's like a command like we listed the branches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the branch, just change that to remote and it would show you all the remotes. Yeah.
Yep. Good. Good. And so origin is my master and upstream is the main VTK-m master.
That's right.
Okay. Good. So I guess we could give them names that are more meaningful to me if we wanted to. Okay. So good. So if we hadn't already created the upstream, then this wouldn't have said fatal. We did,
Right.
and so I think that's fine. If someone's doing this for the first time, they wouldn't get that message. And then if we want to merge the changes from upstream to the current branch, and again, we expect this to be a no-op because it means someone would have made a commit in the last 10 minutes. But how we would do that by doing what?
So you just do a git pull, the name of the remote that you want to pull from, which is upstream right now, and then the branch that you want to pull from, which is master, because the VTK-m upstream only has one branch.
Okay, and so this is the name of the remote I set up, but this is the name of the branch on that remote repository.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm going to press enter, and nothing happened. It said already up to date.
It says already.
And so, but let's just do a thought exercise real quick. Let's say it's tomorrow, and someone has pushed something to VTK-m, and I want to get the latest and greatest because I don't want it to be that maybe I'm going to go modify a file, and over the last day someone else modified it, and I'd rather work off their changes than be working off a stale copy and have to have a merge in the future. And so I say git pull upstream master, and some files change. Do I need to do anything about that, or do I need to commit?
So most likely, if you're working on the same files and if it has like created any conflicts, when I mean conflicts is when you pull the changes and it led to like a failure of like a complete merge, but like it says like both of you have changed these files and there's conflicts in these files, then you need to like address those conflicts and add those files.
Okay, good. So let me say, conflicts is a whole nother sticky topic. Let me not get into that. Let me just say, what if files change and they're not conflicted? Do I just say I do git pull upstream master? It says I changed these 10 files, not files that I've changed. Do I have to commit them?
Yeah. So like committing would mean adding those changes to your working copy.
Okay.
And yes, you should commit those changes.
Okay. So
usually those are committed, but you just need to like push them to your origin.
Okay.
So whenever you do a git pull, it also like finishes that step for you. So like
okay.
it
And so
commits
I would say git push origin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Origin and the branch that you are working on, master. Usually, if you just say git push, it should be sufficient.
And git push, but git push would push it to the Jacobian cell metric branch because that's the branch
That's
I'm
right.
working on. Okay,
Mhm.
so I would do it. I'd get a bunch of files. They wouldn't be marked as modified, correct? If I were to do a git status, would I see them?
No, if the merge has finished, then it would just say, okay, like there's nothing, but like it would give you a message that your branch is ahead of the origin branch by
Yeah,
so many commits.
and then I would say git push to push those to the origin branch.
That's
And
right.
and if I had made local changes on the Jacobian cell metric, would that, if I say git push, would that be pushing them up to the master?
Your master?
I don't think there should be two things called master. That sounds like a really bad plan because exactly the question you asked. Yes, my master. If I've made changes to get to the Jacobian cell metric, I'd really like it just to stay on my branch.
That's right. It doesn't change push those changes into your master branch.
Okay. So if I say git push, it's just pushing them to my Jacobian cell metric branch.
That's right.
Okay. Good. Let me say the 20-minute video that we scrapped was perhaps a full 10 minutes of me grumbling about how Git is unnecessarily complicated. And I think this third video we're going to post. But I want it to be known, I think Git is unnecessarily complicated. It doesn't solve any problems I have, and I don't like it. Thank you.
There's beauty in the complication, Hank.
No, that's not
Just need
true.
to appreciate it.
That's the exact opposite of all the sayings. So simplicity is elegant. So, okay, Abhishek, thank you so much for doing this. This is supposed to be the easy video.
Right.
Tomorrow we'll do because actually I just asked a lot of getting started questions. Tomorrow we'll do the thing that's a little more specific to VTK-m, which is going through their GitLab process and understanding how to do merge in VTK-m. So thanks for doing both these with them. I appreciate this. This has been like an hour-long phone call getting here. So thank you,
Sure.
Abhishek, and look forward to doing this again tomorrow. Okay, let me stop the video.